Welcome back to our Super Bowl LIX recap here. I am Mason Molitor. I'll be joined today by
Wesley Bartlow.
And today we're doing like a deep dive on the Philadelphia Eagles' absolutely bonkers victory, 40-22 over the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously you guys are kind of used to us being sports broadcasters, but today we're going to be more sports analysts, if you will.
I mean, just really for the game in itself, definitely a shock for a lot of Chiefs fans. They came in really excited, really confident. They had a strong season. They played well. They just kind of went up against the Eagles, and every time, the Chiefs during their season, there were mistakes made. They didn't have a perfect season by any means, but they were playing teams that they could get away with small mistakes. The Eagles just hounded them. Philadelphia refused to allow anything through without a fight.
Yeah, the Eagles, 13-4. Nick Sirianni did a great job this year. The Eagles dogged on the Dallas Cowboys, the 49ers, two teams who were supposed to be really good this year and then just weren't. Meanwhile, the Chiefs finished with a 14-3 record, blew the Buffalo Bills kind of out of the water. That was a close game. Cincinnati Bengals, too. They played against each other. They played well, but the Chiefs were, like you said, small mistakes. Like, they were 3 or 4 plays away from being a 10-8 team, like 10-7 team instead of a 14-3 squad. But going into this game, Chiefs obviously very confident, looking for the three-peat. But the Eagles, with new acquisition from the free agency, Saquon Barkley, the running back, he was with the Giants last year, joins the Eagles and has an MVP-like run. Now, probably going to win an Offensive Player of the Year, if I'm being honest. I'm going to throw that prediction in the water, is what Saquon Barkley is going to get this year. The guy was a beast, 2,000-plus rushing yards. He had 10 touchdowns or something. He was insane, and he went off in the Super Bowl. Played super well,
he just had a great performance all season, a force on the field, something that was recognized early, but just nothing they could do about it. He took the field. He dominated his position. Every time he stepped onto the field, you could see a ripple effect when it came to the coaches and them having to plan around that.
Absolutely. And to be honest, Jalen Hurts, he played good too this year. But during the Super Bowl, he was 17 for 22, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns. So not terrible, but I think it was the fact that he could also run the ball and did run the ball occasionally that kind of kept the Chiefs on their toes. And then defensively, that's where the Eagles shined. Mahomes was sacked 6 times. That's the most he's been sacked,
I believe, all season.
All season in a game. 2, I think that's just the most the Chiefs O-line have allowed to be sacked like that. It was just all around the Eagles O-line, the Eagles D-line was destroying the Chiefs. And then obviously Cooper DeJean with the pivotal interception turned pick 6 for Cooper DeJean on his 22nd birthday, and to get his first touchdown in the Super Bowl. That's really cool. And then Mahomes, 21 for 32, 257 passing yards. By all meaning, did not have a bad game. They just got outcoached almost.
Definitely outcoached. Just every time, performance-wise, they didn't do bad. But the spirit of the team just started to stumble. After the first quarter, when they started getting on the back foot early, they kept getting rushed. Mahomes couldn't get his passes off. You could just watch their spirit leave them. And it's something the Chiefs are known for. They're a very dominant team.
Yeah.
They are used to being on the winning side, never on the back foot. And so they struggled to rebound, right? The Eagles were able to hit them with a very strong attack early on. Saquon Barkley, he held 57 yards over 25 carries. So he demanded field time. He took positionings, he took opportunities that just the Chiefs could not stop.
Absolutely. Saquon Barkley, again, threat on the field. And then the Chiefs, you always hear those memes about how the refs help the Chiefs. This game, not at all. If anything, the refs help the Eagles a little bit, one could say. And then the Chiefs, even when they're down or they get into overtime, they absolutely dominate from there, especially when it's end game. But because the Eagles just put up an instant score that was, 4 touchdowns up, at one point, the only opportunity the Chiefs had to score was in that garbage time of that last quarter. And I mean, this is the Eagles' second Super Bowl since their first title in 2017. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a testament to the resilience, the fact that they said they'll be back, and here they are. I mean, both teams 100% have a bright future. Mahomes still going to play. He's going to have a Hall of Fame career. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley. For the Eagles, these next 3-4 years, they're going to be a threat, and they're going to be a playoff team. And honestly, it has been absolutely beautiful. It was to see both of those teams kind of develop the way they have. Like when Mahomes got drafted, it's, oh my God, who's this kid getting drafted at Texas Tech? And here he is, 2 straight Super Bowls, 4 Super Bowl appearances so far, 2 losses, 2 wins. Like absolutely amazing so far. But then the Eagles had a game plan because they've done this before. It was a rematch, and they just got outplayed.
It's definitely. It's heartbreaking for a lot of the fans. This is their attempt at a three-peat, something that we haven't seen in the NFL. So we're looking at a team, they're coming off of a strong season, and then to go into halftime with no points scored.
Absolutely.
It's just, emotionally that it has to affect them. And they definitely rebounded. Ending the game with 22-40 is... it's not great, but it's better than going 40-0 against a competitive team. There is no help. They didn't get any help from the refs, like you said, the jokes that were being made. Yeah. So just a difficult loss for the Chiefs, but not something they can't come back from. They did have a really good season. They're definitely a team that while they're now down and while the Eagles will most likely step into the spotlight off of their Super Bowl win, there's still going to be that competitive rivalry between them going on into the future, into new Super Bowls, into new seasons, and they're just going to be looking at each other, and the Eagles are going to be known as the team that stopped the Chiefs' three-peat.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be an infamous game for the game that ended the Chiefs' chance at a three-peat. I mean, to be honest, putting up 7 and then 7 unanswered in the first half doesn't sound terrible for the Chiefs, right? But then you go 17 in the second quarter, and that puts them up 24-0. You're like, okay, they have to respond back, but they don't respond back until the third, and they respond back with 6, and the Eagles put up 10. And then the Eagles put up 6 more, and then, okay, now the Chiefs put up 16, but it doesn't matter anymore.
They ran out of time.
It was poor clock management and poor play calling all around, I think.
Just trying to react to being thrashed on for the entirety of the first half, and then you're slowly gaining momentum. But it should have been 6 points in the first quarter, 16 in the second. Going into halftime, 22-40 is not unrecoverable if you've got the entirety of half a game left.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in all fairness, if the Chiefs had put up those 22 points in the first half, it would have been a 24-22 game. Yeah. And those are the games where the Chiefs thrive. Down by a possession or down by a field goal, it's winnable. And the other thing that really helped the Eagles, Jake Elliott, their kicker, perfect. All 4 of his field goal attempts and his extra points, all of those, absolutely perfect. Drilled it. Did not miss. And that truly helped. Just the extra points on the board when they couldn't score a touchdown, perfect. And, I mean, that showcases how unpredictable football can be. And just both of these teams are going to be solid competitors and contenders. It's going to be so much fun to watch the NFL these next coming seasons.
For the Eagles, through their season, pretty solid performance. Definitely a strong team on the offensive side. And so for going into the game and going on from here, they can take that win. They can start gaining momentum. If they go into next season fighting the same way they did, keeping all of their teams down the same way they did the Chiefs, then their upcoming season just is, I won't say a guarantee, but they've got a much better chance coming off of a very strong Super Bowl win. And it just allows them to keep rolling, keep gaining momentum, keep scoring more and more, and then getting into the next Super Bowl season. If they're up there, then they also have a chance. But it's, we see this a lot. We see teams that come off of a good win, a thrashing win, and then they go into their second one, they're doing great, and then they hit the third one, they're overconfident.
Yeah. I mean, the concept of, I feel like the Chiefs were comfortable going into Super Bowl, too comfortable. Like, oh, we've been here before, we played these guys before, we can win again. But that's not a mindset you can have, especially in a professional setting like that, because teams change.
Yeah.
That's not the same Eagles team they played the last time they faced off. Was that 2 years ago?
I believe so.
It was not the same team.
No, and it's...
Last year, the 49ers, different story. The Niners were... It was kind of a one-off season for them. It was kind of like the phrase Mickey Mouse season. And I think that's how the Chiefs last year, they were legit. And this year, I think it was a Mickey Mouse year for them where they got lucky and, like, beyond lucky. Calls ended up going their way, which propelled them to make it to the Super Bowl. And here we are. The Eagles have grinded this year all the way throughout with a star-studded team. The O-line, they have the biggest O-line in the NFL. I don't know if you guys saw that stat. Average height of 6'6" and average weight of 338 pounds. And everyone's always like, how does the tush-push keep working? It's because they have, I don't know, monsters protecting their quarterback. Like, you have a Hall of Fame running back, you have a Hall of Fame QB, and the best O-line we've seen in 10 years. I think they can just push for a yard if they need to.
They're able to shift the entirety of the defensive team back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again and again, yard by yard. And
I mean, and how many blitzes did the Chiefs even run?
I mean, just they went up against a team that was, it's like hitting a brick wall almost.
The Chiefs the Eagles did not blitz once. They had 16 pressures and 6 sacks. The Chiefs probably blitzed every other play on defense, and still nothing. That's how confident Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley can be in their pocket and their presence in their O-line, because it's just that it's comfortable.
And they came into this, like you said, a very lucky season. Calls going their way almost every single time. And they came into this comfortable. They're like a laid back game, almost a guaranteed for a three-peat. And they're coming into this, and then they run straight into a team that has been working hard all season. They have been working past issues that they've had. They've lost against the Chiefs. They know that if they make it, they're going to have to fight tooth and nail for any chance of success. And they worked 2 seasons to get there. And the Chiefs, what have they been doing? Their performance has gone from here to here to here. And they're fighting against teams that are like, they're here, so they're still better.
Yeah.
And then the Eagles looked at that, and they're like, we can take advantage of this. We can take advantage of them being comfortable.
Absolutely. And I mean, and to call it an embarrassing and like kind of boring game, I feel like is okay, because as an Eagles fan, you got to be excited. You're absolutely ecstatic. I'd be ecstatic if I was an Eagles fan and we won against the villains of the NFL.
The team.
Yeah, and it's not like the Chiefs are bad in any way. They're all great people. We're just tired of seeing them win. And I think everyone's just tuckered out with the Chiefs. I mean, give them 3 seasons, they're not winning. You see them win a Super Bowl again. Oh, yeah, the Chiefs won again. Okay, that's cool. But, like, when you win that much, everyone's going to start rooting against you because they don't like that you're winning. And that's just that. But, yeah, just what a game.
Yeah.
It was an embarrassment for the Chiefs, to be honest. And then Nick Sirianni, that's what I was thinking about. Nick Sirianni absolutely outcoached Andy Reid. Do you know how hard it is to outcoach Andy Reid? Andy Reid is one of the greatest NFL coaches ever. Like, his all-time record, he's 301, 163, and 1 in his career. In the postseason, he's 28-17. Regular season, he's 273 and 146. One of the greatest head coaches of all time. And he just got outplayed by Nick Sirianni, who is a good coach, but not at the level that, Andy Reid is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only has a single Super Bowl. His all-time record, he is 68-48 as a coach.
He's just, he doesn't have the same amount of experience, the same amount of winning games, same amount of difficult challenges to overcome.
And, I mean, when Philadelphia hired him in 2021, he has been fabulous with them. He has won 17 games. all 4 of his seasons with Philadelphia. He was an offensive coordinator in Indianapolis for 3 seasons, and he won a total of, 32 games there, which isn't terrible, but it could be better.
He's not a bad coach, but he's a coach that understands the fundamentals of his team, because not
Absolutely.
one team plays the same.
Yeah.
You can't put one team they're known for running. They've got a great QB that's able to get the ball 3.5 miles past the touchline. And so you can't put him up against a team that the only thing that they know how to do is push past the defense with a team of an average height of 6'6" and 400 pounds that is just able to thrash through whatever they get put up against. And so it's 2 different play styles, and he understands what makes the Eagles good. He understands their weaknesses, but even better, he understands how to take advantage of the other team's weakness.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think going into it, he understood that the Chiefs were relaxed. They were confident. They were calm, cool, and collected.
Yep.
And then they got rocked. I mean, let's talk about how Saquon Barkley did. Oh, I don't know. This year, 2,005 yards, almost broke the single-season rushing record by a running back, which that's kind of impressive. He had 40 yards, 6 receptions, 57 rushing yards, receiving yards, obviously 40 yards. Not terrible. Didn't have a touchdown, but had 7 targets, 6 receptions.
Pardon me.
Even as a receiver, Saquon Barkley was just good this year. He was amazing.
And they've had to battle their way up from the bottom. And like I said,
So Barkley won Offensive Player of the Year. He was an All-Pro. He was 3rd in MVP voting, and he was voted for Comeback Player of the Year, which very cool. But it just shows how good he was especially for the MVP, on a list that is dominated entirely by quarterbacks. Let's look at that. Entirely by quarterbacks. You have on that list Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jared Goff, Pat Mahomes, Jaden Daniels, Jamar Chase, wide receiver. That's cool. Justin Herbert, Sam Darnold, and Baker Mayfield. Everyone I named there, except for Jamar Chase and Saquon Barkley, are quarterbacks. And Saquon Barkley got 3rd in that voting. That's how good of a season he had. And that's something that helped carry the Eagles to their Super Bowl victory. Anyways, I think that's our take on the Super Bowl this year and what helped the Eagles dominate the Chiefs this year. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Mason Molitor. It's my partner,
Wesley Bartlow. See everybody later.
See ya.
Bye.